Hello, everybody. I hope all is well. I am Demetra K of the Demetra K Show, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like to say, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Also, thank you so much to my wonderful moderators for everything that you do in holding down the comment section. So this evening, we're going to be talking about a white woman saying that they're going to use the hard R. And if, you're my father's generation, the hard R, whether we like it or not. So I'm going to show y'all a video. I have bleeped out that word because she uses it a couple times unapologetically and all of that. And then we're going to also dig a little bit deeper as to why they feel like they even need to do any of that. Of course, we'll get into it. But in the meantime, we'll give everybody just another moment to come on here. Albie Chill, how you doing? Mike Nice to see you again. Of course, y'all. Some of y'all joined me this morning on the African Diaspora News Channel at 11 a.m. as I spent about an hour having a conversation with you. So again, we'll do it next Tuesday and Wednesday, and then next month I'll be there one more day. I'm not sure if I've decided to do a Monday or a Thursday, but it's looking like it might be a Thursday. So anyway, I'll be there 3 days. I cannot wait. As I'm doing this to my chin, my daughter tells me, she says, you have a habit of doing that. She says, well, you got like chin hair or something. She says, look like you're stroking your beard. And it's like, no, just, I be thinking, right? And so, like people, when they think they have little habits that they do, they might mess in their hair. Sometimes I do that, whatever the case is. But anyway, who else is on here? Sister Shirley, how you doing? Arneba, how are you? Kevin, hope you're doing well. The Bible of Truth, hope you're having a great day. Brother Stephen, how you doing? Tell your wife I said hello. Now I'm cognizant of me doing that. Sister Diane, hope you're doing well. Mr. Ernest, hope you're having a great day. And Kay Washington says, no, your daughter didn't say, yeah, I ain't got no chin here, right? I mean, if I did, I'd tell y'all, but I don't. Luckily, I don't, right? Because usually women, when they get my age, like 54, it'd be, picking hair. And that's your business, Ain't nothing wrong with a woman with a beard. There's some men who like women with beards and all of that. One day, and while we're waiting for people to come on here, so now I'm going to be silly. I used to work with this guy. He was an older guy. He's probably like 15, 20 years older than me, right? And then one day, I don't know, we got on the subject of hair on women's legs. He goes, oh, yeah, I like women with hairy legs. He said, especially when you can see the hair through the stockings. Oh, my God, I tear through a whole mall to see a woman with hair poking through her stockings. I fell out. I could not stop laughing, and he was dead serious. He was like, it just does something to me. So, hey, some men that turns them on, and that's your business. Kelvin, how you do it? Says, as long as she can suffer the possible repercussions, they ain't that crazy. They say all that stuff on the internet, but I Negroes, how you do it? John, how you doing? Says, we're gonna say it with a hard R, whether they like it or not. Yeah, not the best idea, but some folks, they just don't or won't learn until. Well, again, this is the internet. People do a whole lot of things on the internet that they're not gonna go into their local grocery store and do. So yeah. Oh yeah, Sister Shirley, me and you were here, but we're gonna talk about it because it goes a little bit deeper, right? Nikki, how you doing? And Sister Tracy. All right, so I've tap danced long enough. Let's get into it. Now, maybe I do have a beard. Y'all, I heard how low my voice went. Let's get into it. Anyway, there's this lady on the internet. She's a white lady. You're gonna see her in a second. Her name is Lana, but her name is not really important because we don't really care. Anything like that. But, she says that her and her people are going to liberate themselves and say the word. And she says in the beginning, it got cut off a little bit because I had to edit the word out. But she says basically white girls or something like that are going to start saying the word, and they're already saying it. And her people, they're going to say it. They're going to liberate themselves. So, hey, Sharon, how you doing? Y'all ready? Troy, what's going on with you? Here we go.
The internet. I get it. Challenging liberal norms, free expression, breaking taboos, sticking it to the man who says what we can and can't say. When blacks use it, it's defiance and reclamation, solidarity. And I'd argue when noticing patterns of certain group behavior, it's also an act of defiance and solidarity for white people. After years of being forced to hear how all whites are racist, privileged, and supremacist, white rebellion is finally gaining traction. I'm not saying that every white person will be dropping hard R's on a daily basis, but it's about the spirit of change where white people are no longer shackled by dumb white guilt and lies. You can't tell us what we can't say or think anymore. We played by the rules. What has it gotten us? Ruined countries full of crime, poverty, and two-tier justice where we are nearing minority status, and it's only gonna get worse. Cute girls are saying making salutes in an act of rebellion to stick it to the system. So what's next? White unity. White representation needs to go mainstream. We need in real life organization in a big way. Communities, activism, lobbying, political groups, orgs, nonprofits that are by us, for us. We have zero representation that is strictly for us. Literally everyone else has that. That is where this energy needs to go. In Europe, ethno-nationalists are already politically active in forming groups. Governments are trying to shut them down for advocating for their people first, putting them in jail. This is inevitable when you are the tip of the spear, forging a new path against the anti-white system. We must support our own. In the next decade, folk-first white lobby groups need to be socially acceptable and ready to work. We're being flooded by hostile foreigners everywhere we live, and soon monitored by AI for thought crimes. Your kids will not know the same world as you, and time is ticking. Hard R rebellious energy needs to be channeled into productive action to create the world we want our kids to live in. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Well, all right. So y'all heard her. I'm not gonna talk about the lady too much. Let me get her off of here. So anyway, y'all heard all that foolishness she said. And you know, as I always say, and we always say here, we don't care if they say that word. You know why we don't care if they say that word? Because it ain't our word. That word don't belong to us. That's their word. That's a word that they gave to us. And unfortunately, we use the word or whatever the case is. A lot of people say, oh, it's a term of endearment, whatever, you know, or however you say it. So we don't have any ownership to that word. And what's so funny to me is, you know, they think by saying that word, and yes, it does get a rise out of people, right? Especially us, we get mad. But see, when we think about it in terms of that's their word, not our word, it's not what they call you, is what you answer to. You know, of course, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and James Baldwin. Those are three people that come off the top of my head. They was like, we didn't create that word. We didn't even create the, you know, N-word as a person per se. But unfortunately, we behave that way. We didn't behave that way until we came into her people, right? And so they feel like this, you know, saying the hard R is some sort of liberation. We're tired of being told that we are racist, and, you know, they want to unify and all this other stuff. It's like, girl, if you don't knock it off, don't nobody really believe all that foolishness but y'all, right? And of course, she says basically they want to, I guess, make a world where their kids could live in and they can have whiteness and say the hard R and all of that. Is like, if you don't knock it off, y'all already live in that world. What are you talking about? But anyway, as I think about a little bit more, I often quote that of Neely Fuller Jr., who of course was an author, educator, and, you know, he went about speaking. And more specifically, he I wrote the book down because I always jack up the name, and I don't even know what I did with my writings right now. The name of the book that he wrote was The United Compensatory Code, System, and a Concept that basically defined white supremacy. Now, I, like a lot of other people, kind of define him as the father of decoding white supremacy. And this is what he said in regards to how it works, in a sense. So, says Neely Fuller Jr. often explained that white supremacy, racism, cannot survive unless it continuously portrays Black people as less than human or inherently flawed. He said that in order for a system of domination to function, it must justify its existence. And the only way to justify mistreatment and control is through a global campaign of deception and dehumanization. In his view, the white supremacist system must make Black people the symbol of everything negative, criminal, ugly, and unworthy, because that image supports the ideology that white people should rule. The system trains both white and non-white people to believe in these images through education, media, law, economics, and religion, so that the oppression appears natural or deserved. Fuller often said, if you don't understand white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else that you think you understand will only confuse you. He explained that part of it, that's how it works, is by demonizing and discrediting Black people worldwide, which makes it easier to control them and harder for them to unite or resist effectively. So basically all that's saying is they have to justify their false idea of superiority by demonizing and dehumanizing Black people. So again, it's really nothing that we have done to them, but they cannot. And even if you heard her, I cut it out. You didn't hear it, obviously, but she used the N-word twice. And then she went on to say how we want to unite and we're sick of this and we need to do this and we're turning into minorities and things like that. But it's like, listen, you could have said all of that without bringing up the N-word. I'm not going to say Black people because in her mind, Black people in that word is synonymous, right? But to us, it's not. But she could have said all she needed to say without bringing us into the picture. But when I heard, and I listened to it a few times, obviously through editing it and just kind of listening to her, all I heard her say is that we ain't got nothing that's hot and popping to talk about on our own. We got to demonize Black people in order for us to be acting like we doing something. And we saw that throughout history. And it ain't just with Black people, but everywhere they've gone, they've had to demonize and dehumanize everybody that they came into contact with because they can't get it out the mud on their own. Case in point, when they went and got our people, whether we was already here or on the motherland and put us on those plantations, they weak. That's why they couldn't do the work. They was backbreaking. The sun don't really like them like that. So they went and got the strongest and the dopest people on the planet. And we still that to this day, which gets under their skin, which you can see through, by the way. That gets under their skin. So they want to make it seem like we're the issue. But see, again, if her great-great-great-granddaddy who was running up in them slave shacks, see, they don't talk about that part. If they would have left us alone, then she wouldn't have nothing to talk about. But see, the other part of that is, who do you blame? Who do y'all blame? Who do y'all blame for your inadequacies as a people? Y'all always blaming other people, messing with other people. Some tells me it ain't us, it's you. So if she feels like using that word is going to make her a better person, hey, go do the voodoo that you do so well, homegirl. I will never get mad over the word that I don't own, which is why I always say we need to stop letting that affect us. See, because they think they have that over us. And again, it's not a word we like to hear, especially when they use the hard R, but that came from they people. That is not something we even knew how to say before they came into contact with us. And let's keep it a buck. See, this is how we got to stop acting brand new, because we got a whole lot of names for them. Now, I ain't going to say none of them on here. And don't say none of them in the comment section. But we got a whole lot of names for them. And the names that we got for them, they don't like it. That hard R that they run around saying, it pales. And I do mean all the pun when I say pale. It pales in comparison to the words we got for them. And they know it. If I go right now in the middle of the street and holler a word that they don't like, they're going to lose their mind. Okay, they're going to turn beet red, purple, and every other color of the rainbow that they can turn if I go say that. So that's another thing that we got to be honest with. We got names for them. And we know that nobody can roast, bag, as we used to say, drag like us. Nobody can do it. And the minute they find out, then they get all mad or whatever the case is. But I want y'all to know one thing. That woman going to do all that on the internet. She not going to go out into her local grocery store and let a hard R rip. She ain't going to do that because she know better. She know there's somebody that's a little bit more crazier than her out there that's going to rise to the challenge. They going to give her what she was looking for. See, but the other thing too is people like her, they think they back in the 1950s, 60s, even 70s. They think they back there where they can go out and say whatever they want to say, and Black people going to be like, yes, Miss Ann, I guess I is. She know. They all know. So while she uses that as a battle cry, it's a battle cry to get our people together. It's like, y'all must be a sorry bunch of, I thought that in my head. Y'all must be a sorry group of people if y'all need that little funky word to get y'all to unite. You can't think of no other things that y'all got going on to make y'all unite. And she talking about their minority. Yeah, worldwide, y'all minority. And yeah, y'all becoming that here, but ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. It's been prophesized. You know, it's going to happen whether you like it or not. So if you need that word to make you feel good about yourself, see, that's the other thing too. They wake up, go to sleep, eat, and everything else they do, thinking about Black people. Must be nice. have black people on your mind all day long. You can't function without thinking about black people. Can't even season your food without black people. You can't, like, what? So I want to see what y'all got to say, because I can go on forever and ever just thinking about the, I'm going to say, the audacity of that woman. So what do y'all got to say? Let's see. I mean, for real, we got so many words for them, and they know it. So like I said, that little word they got, who cares? We don't own a pink slip to that word. All right, so let's see. Tracy, you say they will only do it in a group, and if they outnumber someone because they are natural born weak people. We'll say that. Quincy, how you doing? So that's a greater reflection of them, not us. Yeah, we know that, right? You need that word to make you feel better. All right. Miss KJ Smooth, Mr. KJ Smooth, rather, sorry about that. How you doing? Says they just press over nothing. Yeah, well, they gotta use us to try to do all that nonsense they want to do. But it's okay. Tracy says, can someone pass the toilet paper, please? Well, damn. John, he says they're all jumping on the Charlie Kirk train and they need to stop. Well, you know, they all kind of been like that even before Charlie Kirk, even after Charlie Kirk. That's how they are. But it should be safe to say that they feel emboldened. Now with this new administration, they feel very emboldened. Now we're just gonna say it like it is now. We're tired of having to go in the house and call them back. So whatever. It makes you feel good. Jesse, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Mr. KJ, you also say we don't really want to be around white people like that, and don't and won't. Tracy said, I don't use that word. A lot of people don't use the word, you know, but it's not our word. It's not. It never belonged to us. That's why I'm mad when I hear people say, are you not black? You can't say that word. It's like, y'all really who banging over that word? It's silly to me. Nikki says we really don't care, and we don't. Nama, how you doing? It says the hard R is not a tone of endearment. Well, they know that. They know that. They know that's the one that little ER on the end. That's the thing that gets us all mad. But it's a shoulder shrug to me. You know, it really is. Because I remember back in the day when they said in the car speeding by real fast, they would never come up to your face. You know what I mean? Because they may be a little off, but they ain't all the way crazy. They know what they can get away with. Shoot, I remember one day, the white boy called my stepdaddy the N-word as he was driving by. He was playing outside. My dad stopped that doggone car in the middle of the street and chased that white boy all the way home. His mom and dad was like, oh my God, we're so sorry. You know, my stepdaddy was born in like 1936. So, of course, in Oklahoma, by the way. So, of course, you know, he saw and heard a lot of things. And when that little white boy said that to him, I could envision in his mind, he was like, I'm going to jail today. I mean, that man stopped the car in the middle of the street and chased that white boy all the way home. So, yeah. Let's see. Fair use, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Laverne, how are you? Back at you. He says, she's talking great, stupid. Who cares what Heather the heifer said? Yeah, you know, and we really don't, right? But it should just be explained as to why they need to try to demonize us. As Neely Fuller Jr. said, white supremacy doesn't work if they don't try to demonize us or dehumanize us. It does not work. That's why it's a false idea, because most, if not all of the things they say about us to make themselves feel good they have to do that. And none of it's really true in regards to why they have a failure to launch, you know, but white supremacy doesn't work unless they're talking bad about black people. It's just the way it is. We know that. Then we say, oh, okay, that's why they be bumping their gums about silliness. Marcus, how you doing? Says they're going to be a bunch of Karens getting knocked out. They ain't crazy. Trust me, they'll be on the internet talking like that, but they're not going. I'm telling you, if they go into the Walmart and doing that, it's probably because they're a crackhead or something. But for the most part, Karens ain't going up into Target and Walmart and talking like that. They not. There ain't enough security or Agent 99s up in Walmart or any of that to save them, right? It'll be all kind of clothes racks and milks, you know, being thrown off the shelf behind them saying that word. So they not stupid. PGH Big Dog, how you doing? Salute to you as well. Tracy says, but she clearly wants her extension snatched unweavable. Yeah, well, she does what I just said. They'll be snatched out, I'm quite sure. Sharon says they know when and where to say it and who to say it around. I think a lot of times it's a gamble when they say it around some people and they don't really do anything or whatever the case is. But the best thing you could do if they say that is be like, because see, I'm not going to jail over that word. I will want to probably, but I'm not going to jail over that word. Because that's what their people are saying. Oh, well, it's just a word. Oh, you can't do it. It's just all of that other stuff, right? But they're looking for the satisfaction of you coming unglued. So yeah, Kenneth, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day. MC Fact, how you doing? Let's see. Michael, what's going on with you? Says, in regards to this, Karen, as simple as I can put this, equal rights and equal lefts, FAFO. Again, they're not that froggy. They think they are. Laverne says, love myself, Neely Fuller Jr. He told us, yes, RIP, sir. And he just passed a couple of months ago. So, yeah, one of the greats. Pop, how you doing? Says, them folks are, I just knew you wasn't going to act right. But, yeah, that part. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? Says, not on my watch. I don't care if it's not the hard R. It's against my self-respect rules. I wish we wouldn't say it in public either. It's so ignorant. Yeah, I totally agree with you. See, I'm from California, and Mexicans, there's a lot of them out there. And I don't know. I guess they want to be down by law. I think that makes them down by law. I don't know. But yeah, you can hear it in the music, and a lot of that, all of the music is ours. Now, when I say ours, it's the artists, Black artists that's saying it. And sometimes, they ride by in the cars and I stand at the bank one time, and then a car pulled up and I heard, all this N-word music coming out, and I turned around and sure enough, it was, a Mexican. I was like, I mean, what can you do? They putting it in the music. I don't know. It was like, all right. Tanya, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Buckhorse in the building. Hope you're having a great day. Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. You know what Poppy say? Breeding farms. Okay. I know I'm a little bit behind, so let me catch up a little bit. Frank, how are you doing? African Native. Hope you're having a good evening as well. Betty, how you doing? Says, name calling Black people are very good, man. We'll slice you up, razor blades and lemon juice. Sure will. They be like, oh my God. Oh yes. And then we just be getting warmed up too, right? Fair User says the name that fits them best is liar. Okay. Hayward, how you doing? Says she acts just like people who have never had to be held accountable. Yeah, but the way she talks, she's acting like they are a victim of something. They're a victim of not being able to say what they want. They've been held captive to Black people, I guess, because they couldn't say the hard R. Like, that's what you need to liberate you? Sad. It really is. Shan, how you doing? Says, call Mark on 33rd that you can possibly think of, but the best one is what? Balls? Because they don't know what that means. Or you talking about the names that you could call them? No, I got a whole lot of other names. Boy, I tell you, if I was to say any of that stuff on here, y'all probably never see me again. But I won't. Renee, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. African Native says the world is shifting and they know they're going to get to pay back the hard way. And it ain't going to have nothing to do with us, right? In a sense, I think they want to start, I guess, the race war, but it's like it's going to take more than the N-word to start the race war. And as I saw a brother say, and he took the video down, I understand why he did, because he was going in. He was like, well, jump it off then. What you waiting on? This little whole race war thing they be talking about. I said, what you waiting on? But he took it down because, like I said, he was going hard in the paint. Albert Chill says, I'm only going to ask, is you okay after a nice right hand follow through to the chin? And they know that, which is why. See, y'all coming up with the names already. That's why they're not going to do it. Jerome, how you doing? Says, what the heck are they oppressed for? Is the oppression Is this the oppression Olympics? Yeah. And they feel like they're oppressed. And it's like, how? How do y'all feel like y'all oppressed? And are we the one that's doing it? I don't think it's us that's doing it. But again, she's equating that they can now say that word and nobody will get mad to being liberated. Go off. It doesn't make me any difference what you do, right? Brother Don, my triple OG moderator, how you doing? Mama T, what's going on with you? Says the minority, but so are we. They're the ones that let everyone in their mammy come in and the ivermectin right under their nose. So worried about us, they need to leave us alone. They can't. They're obsessed. They're obsessed with us. They are. Like, you need us to be liberated? It must be nice to, I kind of feel flattered that you need to have us on your mind every waking moment, because I don't have them on my mind at all. I'll tell you, the only time I have them on my mind is if I maybe see them outside. Like, I got a neighbor next to me, they're white. The neighbor on this side of me, they're Hispanic. The neighbor across down from them, they black. One across the street, black. The white one. That's the only time I kind of really even think about them, to be honest with you. So I'm not like, going to sleep and like sheep, counting sheep. I'm not counting them in my sleep. I'm really not. And then, my neighbor over here, her husband, cool, but she a mess. She a Karen for real. I had to step to her and her mama like one time, like, don't play with me. Okay. I don't play with me at all. So after that, we've been all right. She don't speak, and that's all right. I don't want to speak to her either. Her husband speak though. Sagittarius Goddess, how you doing? He says, I wonder who made her mad. Her mama, her daddy, bald-headed granny. It wasn't us, right? Roz, he says, let them have the word they created. We need to stop using it. Yeah, we do. We should not have ownership of that. Sister Sherry, how you doing? Says, oh, and they want to mess with us, and we ain't even the people that are taking over their precious country that they love so much. And it ain't even a country. Their country is in Europe. That's where their country is. This ain't their country. They came over here and put a flag in and talking about this is ours. They act like everything is ours. That's like they're in the motherland. That ain't your country either. They talking about stuff that's your country is in Europe, where they eat beans and toast. That's your country. Maybe they forgot. Simo, how you doing? Says if she could say that this, it says this I can do. Also, you basically saying you pew pew her. She say that. Okay, got you. Edward, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let me skip down a little bit, y'all. Naima, how you doing? Says greetings. I'm honestly unbothered. Let them show themselves so I know who not to rock with. Like I said, I don't really be rocking with a whole lot of. I don't rock with a lot of people in general, but like I said, I see them when I go out. It's the only time I see him. My neighbor across the way, he be wanting to speak to people, hey, how you doing? That type of thing. But I don't have no ill will or nothing like that. But like if they say come over for dinner and be like, Chloe, I hope I said that right. How you doing? South Sudan. Is that where you're from? South Sudan. It's a long way from here. I hope you're doing well. And Tracy says, don't call me either. The A or the ER, period. No one. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Check it. How you doing? Says, folks, one tangibles. It was very predictable that things would be tangibles that would come with this guy. Congratulations. And I don't know what guy that is, so please refresh my memory. And I know I'm behind. Avenge the ancestors. How you doing? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Benzin, how you doing? Says they are failing on their own in a system designed for them. They are victims of their own bigotry. Yeah, so it's like what you mad at us for? We really have done nothing. But see, the other thing is, they're not mad enough to stay away from our men, no. Or our women, they ain't mad about enough to do that. A Foodie's Guide to Fasting, how you doing? Says the word has lost its power. We continue to elevate back to our higher vibrations. We got to. We have to. Our people on the plantation, when they would call them everything but a child of God, that's where the dozens came from, right? We have to toughen up. We have to call each other names and stuff. It wasn't that we hated each other. It was like, yo, you need to toughen up. When Massa Miss Ann come out here and saying all kind of incendiary things, you needed to, roll off. So we would do that to each other. So we toughen up. And unfortunately, we still kind of do that, right? Edwin, how you doing? Says we're always on their minds. Are they tired? The stress they have? No, they're not tired. They in order for them to think that the bee's knees, they got to talk about us. That's how it works. 48 TCO, how you doing? Says especially at the Walmart, I met you at Miss Demetra. Shout out to Walmart on the 290. Okay. I don't really see too many of them in there. I don't know if that's an area where they are. I see some, but not a whole lot. All right, so let's see. Michael, how you doing? Says say what you like, just expect the repercussions behind it. Yeah, like I said, that a lot of that is internet stuff. Star Child, where you been and how you doing? Says I can think of a few words with a hard R. I like to call them. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of them. A lot of them they don't even know about, right? Because we do roast behind closed doors or to the homies and stuff, right? A lot of them they don't even know we talk. I mean, I'm sure they got names for us too, so what? Mike says she needs to go take some cooking with seasoning classes. Salt and pepper. That's seasoning to them. Salt and pepper. Chloe says I'm buying Ghanaian money rather every month. I'm not playing with them. So are you moving? Naima says if someone doesn't like you, they'll create all kinds of names to project to you. If they don't call you that, they still will call you something derogatory. Yeah, again, it ain't what they call you is what you answer to. Don't let them people define you. They don't even know who they are, And so whatever they may say to you, whatever, they don't know you. They don't have the ability to define us, right? And Ren Wood, how you doing? Says, hey, Demetra, love you. I love you too. MC Fact says the N word is a hate word and should be banned and should definitely be banned in music and rap. Yeah. But again, we don't own those record companies and they like those words. Yeah, use as many as you can. Make sure you say about 20 to 30 of them on a record, right? They like all that. Those record executives aren't offended by that word. A lot of us are. But the best way to send a message to them is to just shun the music altogether. Shun it. Don't listen to it, right? Don't stream it. Don't buy it. And then they'll say, okay, because you think about other groups, you don't hear the derogatory stuff in their music that I guess one would call them. They would never have it. But, our music per se, yeah, they say all kind of crazy stuff. All out in the open and nobody seems to care because it makes money. So, yeah. Avenged Ancestor says the open enemy don't want a race war. They want to harm the unharmed innocent people under the color of law. And they've been doing that, right? Miss Sweets, where have you been? I hope that you're doing well today. Elder Dwayne, how you doing? Says, don't say nothing. She will learn the hard way. Yeah, something tells me she ain't about that life. She not. Thank you so much, Papa Love, and appreciate you for that. Says, this is why the sun hates to. That could be why, Yeah, they don't be out in the sun like that. Not long anyway. Not long. How long? Not long. Buckhorse says, he says, thus said the hobo thy God, let my people go, suffer his mighty wrath. I don't think he meant God was a hobo, but Beverly, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Since they can't help themselves, they're evil. Some would agree. Pop says, I hate when it rains because I'm not going to read that, but okay. Hey, brother OG, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see who else is on here. Lily, hope you're having a great evening. Albie Chill says, my grandma was German, and even she said, stay away from them folks. She was German, but she was a writer. I know that's right. See, they be knowing. Mama T says, right, always up in our faces. El Hombre, how you doing? Says, too tough up. Okay. Pop says that smell just hangs in the air like it knows it's getting on you on your last nerve. Okay, so Humber, you say to be tough. Them got you. One box, thank you so much for that. Love it, appreciate you. Says hello, Demetra. I put my phone down on beans and toast. I'm just saying that's what they be eating over there in Europe, beans and toast for breakfast, no less. So yeah, Star Child says I'm doing well. Okay, thank you. You know what, Pop? You just ain't gonna act right. I swear you not, but that's okay. One day you might. Just going down to see who I haven't seen. Brother Raven, how are you? Says when them folks and others know they were not the first humans, the dominant skin tone innovators of more valuable inventions to man due to our intellect and dominant abilities in all areas. This breeds hate and envy on all levels. We have to learn our culture from the beginning, and then we will see how insignificant them folks are. They're not like us, period. And you're right. When we learn who we are, none of that stuff really bothers us. See, they know who we are. That's why they got to keep trying to browbeat us, and as some say, by the law and every which way, to just really suppress our knowledge of self. And so far it's worked, right? So we got to get back to learning who we are, because believe me, they know. Laverne says, on lots of sides, the truth is distorted about us. Everyone can't stand the truth. That is true. Herschel, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. King Buck, wow, what's going on with you? Long time no see. Oh, I got to the bottom. Woo-hoo! Buckhorse says, my bad, I'm cooking. Y'all, what you cooking? I'm curious. I'm not hungry. I ate early, but what are you cooking? El Hombre says, need beans and toast. You need some beans and toast? I've never had no beans and toast before. I don't know. Maybe it's good, but that's what they eat, beans and toast. Sounds like a funky situation. 48 TCL says, beans and toast. What in the country jail issues that? That's what they eat in Europe. That is like a staple, beans and toast. I kid you not. Look it up. True Pilgrim, how you doing? Says, for every action, there's a reaction. They can't say it, but they can also get their wig split. They know it. Like I said, all that sounds good on X. Right now, Elon, that's who owns it, right? He, he's friends with everybody because I guess he forces you to be his friend or something. But he posts a whole lot of racist stuff all day long, all day, about basically black people ain't no good and we just that and the others. Like, well, no wonder that why they didn't want your pasty self in South Africa. So they wouldn't let you do what you wanted to do over there, right? Because he's a son of apartheid. But that they wouldn't let Elon do what he wants over there. He gonna come over here and try to, demonize black people. Is like, it ain't gonna work. We don't care if you're the richest man in the world. God got the last say so. I was gonna say something else, but I stopped myself. But yeah, so they feel emboldened to say those things, especially on X, because ain't nobody gonna check them. But if you go over there and say something, they gonna suspend your account and stuff like that. But yeah, the N word is, it's American as apple pie over there. Jamal, did I say hello to you? Says beans and cornbread. Yeah, when I will eat some beans and cornbread, but beans and toast. I don't know. Like I said, I ain't gonna hate on it. It might be good, but how you doing? Says just be ready for the consequences. There you go. Fair You says, living in a sundown town, I be daring them to try me. You live in all of America's a sundown town, to be honest with you. It really is. But like, you live in a sundown town for real. Like when the sun goes down and the street lights come on, you can't be outside. Like, well, what's going on there? And how does that work? Kevin, how you doing? Says English food is bad. The only stuff hitting are the fish and chips and the kebabs. So yeah, their fish and chips are actually French fries and fried fish. Never had any of their fish and chips before, but yeah. Beans and toast. I just couldn't see ordering that on the menu. I'll take some beans and toast. Capcom, how you doing? Hey, Sunlight, how are you doing? Nice to see you again. 4-day TCL. So he says, So that's food they make purposely to eat, beans and toast. Yeah, I'm not lying, like for real. Buckhorn says you're making baked chicken, green beans, and baked brownies. Save me a plate. That all sounds really wonderful. It really does. Laverne says, never knew that, Sister Demetra, beans and toast. I kid you not. That's what they be eating, beans and toast. One box, you say beans and toast, talking about, right? That's why I said that's a funky situation. It got to be. Tracy, you deleted your Twitters. Yeah, a lot of people did. I still have it. It's one of my least favorite places to go. It's just so much nastiness on there. I mean, nastiness is filth. People just, you would be very desensitized being on X. And I don't know if that's by design, by a lot of things that they put on there. Of course, there's a lot of racism. And, our people don't bite our tongue over there either. So it's just a lot of negativity on there. I'll go on there if I'm looking for a story or something. But I don't spend a lot of time on there. I typically like to go on the internet to, for one, find stories, or to laugh, right? I like to watch people dancing. I like pranks and stuff like that. That's really kind of what I like. But Twitter, yeah, not my favorite place to be. African Native says them folks successfully hijacked the land of children of the Most High. Now they spend the time in the ancient Egypt ruins to justify that it belongs to them. What about Greek and Rome that look alike? And you're absolutely right about Egypt. If you look at the Egyptians now, obviously they're mixed with something. But we know that all belongs to Black people, right? Africans. They've just diluted it a lot. But they know what's in those pyramids and things like that. They know that history talks about our people, right? So you're right. They dig around in there to try to justify it. We've seen them a couple of times try to recreate what Cleopatra looks like. And they always try to come up with this white woman is like, that's Elizabeth Taylor. Okay. That was not Cleopatra. It doesn't even make sense. But they try to justify how they're indigenous to places that they've just colonized. Like here, right? Let's see. One boxer says English meat pies. What's in that? Michael says Elon's father, Arrow, is a nasty individual. He's such an awful person that Elon doesn't talk to him. Look it up. Well, damn. He must really be bad if Elon doesn't talk to him, because Elon is an awful person. And some of his children don't even talk to him. Like one of his daughters, she be going ham on Elon. She don't mess with him at all. Well, he got like 14 kids or something like that. But yeah, so some of his children don't even mess with him. That's bad when you're the richest man in the world and your kids are like, F you, Dad. Because I'll be like, my dad is all right with me. Tracy says beans, toast, and blood sausages for breakfast they eat. All right. Troy says, I love beans and toast. Okay, see, I don't think I've ever had it before. So is it good? I must be if you love it, right? Mike says their iced coffee is more like a sundae. Nah, I could get with that. Pop says my neighbor tried to give me a GD fried chitlin sandwich. Why you didn't want it? I never heard of a fried chitlin sandwich. Obviously, I've heard of chitlins before, but a fried chitlin sandwich. I know you did not bite your tongue when you was like, no, thank you. Capcom says, why would Dave Chappelle invite Musk on the stage at one of his shows a few years back? I'm wondering if he knew what Elon really had in his heart. Probably not. It seems like Elon, because Elon was a Democrat right before Trump ran for office this time. So I think Elon is like, I'm going where the money resides, because, he has a lot of government contracts and things like that. I don't know what Dave knew. Maybe he didn't. Elon, like a lot of them, suppress their white supremacy until they don't have to anymore. Dave Chappelle is cool. So I'm sure Elon likes to hang around all the cool people and stuff. But I don't know. It'd be very interesting to know how Dave feels about that. Raven says potato salads with raisins with crackers. No. Thank you, Miss Sweets, for asking everybody to hit the subscribe button and all that. Love and appreciate you for that. One box says, actually, I'm limited to Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, Facebook is okay. Instagram is okay too. TikTok is okay. But Twitter, X, it ain't for the weak. Because you'll be mad all the time, you know? So I'll go on there every once in a while. But like I said, I just go on the internet really for a couple things, honestly. Fair You says, I'm the only Black person I saw today. Where do you live? Oh, so the Sundown Town. Well, where is this at? And are you the only Black person there? I'm concerned. Hombre says, she looks as that. Okay. Live, love, laugh. How you doing? Live, laugh, learn, love. How you doing? Says, white woman where? And Buckhorn says, Miss D, did you see them fools crashing out over food stamps with no seatbelt? Yeah, I've seen it. And I haven't gone on TikTok to make a video, but I think that I will. Tell them to knock it off. Stop it. All this, well, we gonna run up into the store. We gonna do that. You don't catch a case. Don't catch a case over some food. Because I guarantee you're gonna eat every day in the clink, but ain't gonna be what you want. Right? I heard about jail food, and that just, it would be a major deterrent for me. I don't want nothing weeks old. Mad Dog, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Everything's happening. Pop says they be eating like goat stomach soup. Goat stomach soup is crazy. Tracy says Elon's father trash talked the mess out of him, and that his trans daughter, that's a trans daughter that drags him. Okay. Got you. Yeah, because you know how he feels about all that. African Native says white people in the pyramids with dreadlocks and African neck jewelries. He says, what a joke. It is insane to try to impersonate Africans. Yeah, but they try to, you know. And I'm like, I would feel like cursed or something would happen to me if I'm going up in those tombs and stuff and digging around. Tomb raiders is what they are. Well, we're going on an artifact searching mission and trying to see what we can learn. I was like, you're being nosy and you probably in there stealing. Something, you know what I mean? Sometimes wish that a mummy would just wake up and just, you know, do what mummies do to people, whatever that is, right? We can only hope. Mike says, I'll pass on the beans and toast. Yeah, I think I might too. It's a lot of carbs. If you think about it. Sagittarius Goddess says, I thought they eat blood sausage in the UK. Sounds like they do. And what's a blood sausage? Is it something real like blood in it? Or is it just the name of it? So how you doing? Says, my dad told me I ruined his life. I haven't talked to him since. Well, that's messed up. It really is. And I hate that for you. I'm sorry that he said that to you. Desmond, I was reading the rest of your name. How you doing? It says, cool, and see what will happen. Poppy says, because it was on a GD onion roll. So you don't like onion rolls? One box says Cleopatra was European and chosen by Caesar to be in England after the conquest. Well, yeah, we know she was, right? But like Hollywood, they tell you Elizabeth Taylor. You know what? I like Elizabeth Taylor. She's obviously dead now. But I like a lot of her movies and stuff. I watched her biography and all of that. She's was actually a very interesting person. Very interesting, but she definitely was not Cleopatra. Okay. So Fair usually live in he says Charlton Heston can't be Moses, right? You know, well, Hollywood says they can. All right. Tracy says the comments on the TV is cutting up on the TV. And our Mama T says Elon is on the spectrum, so I heard. Sounds like he's on a lot of spectrums. African Native says Elon de Boer is a refugee. That was his status when he ran to America. Yeah, so he over here trying to, you know, get the racism more popping than it is. 48 TCO says the halt of the food stamp grind gonna hurt everybody. No more 10 for 60. And 10 for 60 is crazy. Because I remember when it was, not 10, 100. I remember it was 50 cents on the dollar. Now they talking about 60. I heard somebody say 75 cents one day. I was like, out of spite, I will go to the store and spend 100%. Ain't nobody gonna give you no 75% on the dollars. You crazy? Like, don't get brand new around here, okay? Hypothetically speaking. Albie Chill says, link twice, brother, if you need us. I mean, blink twice. Let's see. Who else haven't I seen? Let me just skip down just a tiny bit so I can catch up. The unsubscribed queen, how you doing? Says Pinterest is so peaceful. You know, my daughter was actually telling me about Pinterest not too long ago. She says now they got a lot of ads and stuff on there. I remember when Pinterest didn't have any ads or anything at all. And I actually haven't been on Pinterest since probably 2012. I would put stuff on there, you know, because I was into fashion, frugal fashion. So I would put different things that I would buy on there, but I haven't been on there in so long. It's crazy. But maybe I need to go back over there, you know, get some ideas. You can get a lot of good ideas from Pinterest. 48 TCL says, my person sells me 300 faithfully every month. I hope she be okay. Though a lot of them need that extra money. Yeah. Damn, she must get a lot of food stamps. And we're saying, you know, hypothetically, pretend, right? Hey, Mr. South Carolina, hope that you're doing well. El Humber, you say Charlton Heston played Moses in the movie. Yes. That is true. Sunlight says, did Elizabeth Taylor play Alexis Carrington on Dynasty? No, I don't think she was ever on Dynasty. I forget her name, but I don't think she was ever on Dynasty. Not that I can, but I didn't really watch Dynasty like that, but I don't think Elizabeth Taylor. Oh, you're talking about Joan. I can't think of her last name. She has a sister as well. She was the writer. Joan somebody. I think she's still alive too, if I'm not mistaken. Laverne says Elon is a whole sperm donor. You ain't lying. Got on, but you know, the richest man in the world, he could populate the whole world, right? And still have a whole bunch of money. Kevin says Elon got that microchip in his head. For real? Let's see. Joan Collins. Yes, I think that's who you're talking about. So yeah, Elizabeth Taylor wasn't on Dynasty. Not that I can remember. Joan Collins. Thank you. Yeah, her sister, Jackie Collins, is her sister. I think she's passed on. I actually watched her documentary too. I'm into, you know, biographies. I don't care who it is. I love, I don't know if they're autobiographies or just biographies, bio, whatever it is. So I like those. So I've seen Jackie Collins, Elizabeth Taylor. I've seen quite a few. I love old Hollywood, everything. I like to study it. It's an interesting time and place. Raven says, I still go to Planet site is still popping. And what's Planet? Never heard of that. Synovia, how you doing? Says peace and love to meet your mod and chat. I may not be here all the time, but I always watch the reruns. I always thumbs up, but I'm here today. Well, I love and appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. Yes, Joan Collins is still alive. She got to be in her 90s, right? Sherry says a lot of these big chain grocery stores are going to lose out if people lose their food stamps. And I bet a lot of them are Republicans and don't believe it's going to happen. Pinterest is my happy place. Yeah, I got to get back on there. Yeah, this is a chain reaction here. Food stamps being cut off. This is going to be a chain reaction. It was something. Oh, so Trump is making a deal with Argentina for their beef. Like their beef. And now the farmers over here, you know, probably most, if not all of them, are white. They are upset. Because why are you making a deal with them to buy their beef? And you got farmers over here, you know, that raise cattle and stuff. So they're pissed. And a lot of them probably did vote for Trump, you know, for other reasons. But the farmers, they are just, man, a lot of them are taking their own lives and a whole lot of stuff. They're losing the farms, foreclosing, and a whole bunch of stuff. And they're like, we thought Trump loved us. You know, now he over there giving Argentina $40 billion. And I guess he's trying to do something over there. I don't know what it is, but now he wants to make a deal with them for their beef. Like, screw you, Americans, right? So everybody's going to get, you know, the foot to the behind the Trump administration. Everybody. But so there goes that whole Made in America ideology, right? Argentinian beef, or however you say it. I mean, that's a long way to be sending some meat, you know, especially when you got it right here. So nothing says I hate America like not buying the beef. And that man be eating a lot of, what is it, Big Macs, quarter pounders, or whatever it is. So, wow. And he, you know, redoing the White House like he gonna be there a minute. It's crazy. Yeah, Diane Carroll was on Dynasty, Mad Dog. I didn't watch it, but you know, my grandmama and them did. Original American, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. One box says, actually, my typo error. Cleopatra was chosen to be in Egypt by Caesar. Okay. Black Planet. Oh, Raven. So yeah, I never was on Black Planet. My mama was. Like, what was you doing on Black Planet, lady? 40 TCO said, did you mean black? Yeah, that's what he meant, Black Planet. Joan Collins is 92. Whatever she's doing, she said, I'm going to stay here, okay? Sunlight says, who doesn't know about lentils? I have pounds of them stored. I make lentil soup. Yeah, I have lentils as well. Lentils are good, and it doesn't take that long for them to make. Alcatarian, how you doing? He says, the word is sacred, which means that they are saying the Lord's name in vain, which is why it's a sin, because it means kings of kings, aka Nagas, Nagas. Let them, he said, let them is not kryptonite to us, but unforgiven blasphemy. So yeah, so that does mean king, but they ain't meaning it like that. You know what I mean? Laverne says Virginia Woolf with Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Oh yeah, it's a great movie. It really is. That's when people really had to act, right? They didn't have all the bells and whistles and things like that. It was just really just them two, right? I think a couple other people were in it, but really it was just them two. She was a mess, right? What's the other one? Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. That was a good one. I'm bad with titles of movies, but the other one is kind of like a not very well-known movie of hers. Something about Room 8 or Butterfield 8. That was a good movie. Butterfield 8. Yeah, she got a hell of a story. She really does. Tracy says, so they're going to sell Argentinian human meat. I don't think it's human meat. I think it's cows. I'm hoping it's cows. But yeah, that's a kick in the teeth to American farmers. Why ever would you be getting cow beef from them? Herschel says Argentina supposedly has good beef. Yeah. So that's almost saying, you know, from Trump's point of view, I prefer Argentinian beef over American beef. The taxpayers, who I just gave 40 billion of your dollars away. I gave taxpayers from Americans to Argentina, 40 billion of it, and I'm going to have them sell their beef to you. Mad Dog says that's what those MAGA gangbangers get. Yeah, I honestly don't see Trump lasting 4 years for whatever reason. I don't know why. I just don't see it. I could be wrong. Arneva says Argentina must be giving him a kickback. God, you know, it's got to be something in it for him. Something else I heard too. Like I do inculcate a lot of news throughout the day. But yeah, his son-in-law Jerry, he's going to be doing something in Israel. Obviously, a lot of people saying it's a conflict of interest. Seems like whenever they go do something, it's money for them, allegedly. Tahada he says, it is made in America, South America. Got it. Okay. So Nova says that's a good old American apple pie. Ain't as sweet as I thought it would be. Okay. Albert Chill says they better pull themselves up by the bootstraps and stop being victims. Exactly, right? DOD, Too Black, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And I'm out of time, y'all. Yes, Laverne, I'm telling you, I'll be watching black and white movies. They're so relaxing. They really are. I put my phone down and I watch it. And I'm intently watching, right? Because they're so good. And that's what I say too. I wish people, especially the younger generation people, would learn how to watch movies again. They don't know how to watch movies without all of the bam, you know, and just things given to them. I love the older movies because it made you watch and pay attention, and you had to, you know, decipher what was going on, or just kind of pay attention to good old-fashioned dialogue, which a lot of those black and white movies had. It's a lot of good dialogue. So I wish we would get back into that form of cinema again. Raven, I read your comment last. It says all them white farmers were getting subsidies and loans when times were good, but black farmers, nothing. Now they see what black farmers went through, but then black farmers still rolling along. Yeah, I saw one black farmer. I don't know how well they're doing, but it was actually him that was saying a lot of farmers are starting to take their own lives and things like that. So it's not a good time for them. But yeah, to go and say we're going to buy beef from another country, yeah, that's like 2 middle fingers to American farmers. But he's like, who gonna check me, boo? What you gonna do? Yeah, I ain't gonna do nothing. Buy these watches, buy these shoes, right? Or whatever. He got Trump phones, and I'm surprised he don't. Didn't he have some Trump steaks? Man, we could be here all day. Real Capper, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Poppy says, I like watching old Mae West movies. Yeah, I love them all. Anyway, I will see y'all on Sunday with Donovan, because today is my Friday. You know, I got to rest myself. But it's been my pleasure to be here with you this week. If something pops off, I will come on here. But in the meantime, please enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see y'all around. Check out all the stuff on African Diaspora News Channel. Download the app. Also, if you found any value in what we did today here, we have ways to donate to the channel. But at the very least, please like and subscribe and tell a friend. Peace.